I don't know how to go about this, guys. I feel like I haven't been transparent with you. And for the past few weeks, I've been thinking about this channel a lot, trying to figure out, hey, what do we need to talk about? What can I give to you guys that you guys can relate to, that I've actually been through and I've actually done? And the idea of relocation just stuck a chord with me because I actually ended up leaving New Mexico at some point and coming back. And I felt like, man, I feel like there's a topic there that can hold a lot of weight if I just talk about it with you guys. And I really bring it to your attention on why I came back, right? Leaving is one thing, and we're going to talk about that, but I really want to let you know why I came back. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about why I left New Mexico at some point and ended up coming back. So grab your pen and your pad because it's about to go down. All right, guys, so our story starts back in 2014, back when I was just a young buck. I wasn't even 20 years old yet, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And my cousin actually brought the idea to me that, hey, you should move out to New York with me to sell solar. And I was like, man, school just said you can't come back. You can't afford to come back for your engineering degree, and you got nothing else going on. So I told him, let's give it a shot. Let's see what I got, and let's see what I can do out there. And, that's where my journey took me. It took me to Patchogue, Long Island. Man, such a crazy place to live. And really in Long Island, it's over 2 million people back in 2014. I could just imagine that it's a lot more now. And back then, it felt so crazy because you were just deserted on this, not deserted, but really condensed to this island where there was so much people and so much things going on that it was a culture shock to me. So going door to door, knocking on different doors really was a job itself. And needless to say, I did not succeed at it, and I ended up moving back, right? And the whole reason why I moved out there was to be able to, get some financial gain, chase a big dream. I've never been to New York, so I felt like, man, what a perfect time to just move, right? Just to leave, just to see what's out there. And I went from slowed down America to fast-paced luxury, all this crazy stuff that I would have never even thought was, real. I wouldn't even say possible, but real, because you only see it on TV, on YouTube, but really when you see these big skyscrapers, these big long bridges, all these people, it becomes real to you real fast. And I just want to thank you guys so much for stopping by the Living in Albuquerque channel. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. Do yourself a huge favor and hit that subscribe and notification bell down at the bottom, because we are dropping videos every week talking about what our beautiful city of Albuquerque, New Mexico, and all the other surrounding cities around us here at ABQ have to offer. Now, aside from doing these videos, guys, I am also a licensed broker. So as much as I love doing this, I would love to help you out with your real estate needs. So that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. Feel free to hit me up at any time. Me and my team would love to hop on a quick video call with you guys just to make sure that you're making all the right moves and all the right decisions before you head down to Albuquerque. But before we get too much into detail, I just want to kind of elaborate a little bit more on why I moved back. Okay, now, I'm sure you guys want to know why I moved back. And I'm just going to be real with you guys. I was broke. I wasn't making any money. I think I made about $500. I ended up giving it up to my cousin because, I felt grateful for that opportunity to be able to go out there and see what I'm made of and really just give me the opportunity to learn what life is, right? I left the nest and I was, 19 years old, really no money to my name, had a car. I had some debt, but really moving out there opened my eyes to a whole different side of life, and I'm very thankful for that, and I learned so much. But really why I moved back, aside from being broke, is that the fast-paced lifestyle, everything that New York was too much for me. I couldn't handle everything that was going on. I felt like things were moving just way too fast for my own liking. I'm a really chilled, laid-back dude, and when stuff is just go, 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 I feel like I lose touch with reality. right? And you're starting to see that a lot more often because things are just getting faster. Even down here in Albuquerque, there's times that you'll feel like, man, life is just moving so fast. I feel it like that. And maybe it's just because I run a business and, I got kiddos and I have a second job and all that stuff. And, from the honey to-do list, sometimes I feel like just life just passes me by. So, aside from that, New York was just crazy though. On 10 of whatever we're dealing with here. And being there, I slept on a mattress. My diet consisted of Cheerios, peanut butter, and eggs and chicken legs. And man, the only things that I did outside from work was go to the gym, right? And I would go outside and enjoy the bars from the street because I really couldn't get in. But, my cousins, they were having a great time, enjoying themselves. And really, life for me was kind of depressing. So with that being said, I made the call. My dad flew me back home. Man, I even had to ask my dad to fly me back home because I was so broke. And not only broke, but broken that I really missed home. And when I came back, it was literally like a breath of fresh air. I felt like I was able to breathe all over again and really just kind of, see life from a plain view and see what I wanted to do and see what direction I wanted to go in. And doing that here in Albuquerque is pretty much all of that started the moment that I landed. And that's, my story of why I moved to New York City and moved back in a nutshell. And I want to get into a little bit of specifics so you guys can understand when we compare apples to apples on what we're dealing with. Now, I want to talk about the lifestyle and affordability when we're talking apples to apples, right? And really, it starts with our rent. Our rent for our 2-bedroom apartment, granted, everything was brand new. Our rent for our 2-bedroom apartment was $3,000 back in 2014. Now, when I hear people say that the rent is $3,000 or their mortgage is $3,000, it's normal. But this is almost 10 plus years later. Back in 2014, our rent was around $3,000. I think I was paying like $15 for, a coffee and a bagel at Dunkin' Donuts. And that's when, I started to really see the difference in prices and all this stuff. And the home values over there were just nuts and crazy. I think back then the average home price on Long Island was around like $600,000-$700,000. There was $1 million homes that I seen that I'm like, man, this looks like a regular house back from where I live. Now, coming back home, back in 2014, the average home sale price was around $220,000. Now it's at, $350,000 plus, not quite at that $360,000 mark. I think by midsummer here in 2024, we're going to see it at $360,000 because, the low inventory is just making things just get a little crazier again. And when, interest rates drop this year, you are going to see home prices go up again. So if you are thinking about buying, again, that number popping up on the screen, guys, I can't stress it enough, is my direct line. And whether you're looking to move here in the next 30, 60, or 90 days, I'd love to help you make that decision a lot smoother and a lot easier. And me and my team are ready to get on a quick call with you guys to make sure you're making the right decision with all the information that we're giving you, right? And hopping back into it, just to end that conversation on affordability. Back then, we were paying around $4 for a tank of gas. I think it's way more now over there. And here, back in 2014, we were paying around $2, right? I think now that's what we're looking at is, gas prices hovering around that same area. But I can just imagine with all the inflation within the past couple of years and what people were paying for gas. I could imagine them paying around $7 for a gallon. But really, the transportation out there was pretty, walkable. You could ride your bikes and stuff like that, but nothing here like Albuquerque where you got bike lanes, the walkability, there's trails everywhere connecting all sorts of different neighborhoods, sidewalks and all that stuff. Back in Long Island, some of the neighborhoods didn't even have regular street lights. They had these cool looking street poles with old incandescent lights that, if you were caught like I was in the dark in some of these neighborhoods, it would get kind of scary. Talking about culture and talking about it being a little scary, right? The fast-paced lifestyle out there is a little scary. when people are just passing you by, not really caring about you, you're just another face in the crowd kind of thing, it gets very real. You almost feel out of place coming here from New Mexico, and, you go to one of the bagel shops or one of the, pie shops, and you're asking them for, a slice of pizza and all this stuff. They are kind of mean and kind of rude, but, living there for almost half a year, you kind of understand their culture that, they are so protective of themselves. They're kind of rough, and they mean well, right? They might seem mean, it might come off, strong, but they mean well for the most part. They got some hospitality within, some of their roots there still, but nothing like the Southwest. Down here, I mean, people are saying hi to you when you walk down the street. They're helping you, opening doors, apologizing, stopping to have a conversation with you. Like, it's very real down here on how the slow-paced lifestyle is. Very wholesome. I'm talking about, like, man, they can make Hallmark movies down here, and it would just be a regular movie, regular person's life, right? Like a vlog to us almost. So that's how much I miss the southwestern hospitality when it came to mi casa, su casa, when, you want to join a different crowd, or, you're new to an area and you want to become part of a community. They accept you here. Sometimes in places that are so fast-paced, they're moving at 1,000 miles an hour that they have no time for you. Down here, we love to make time for everybody. My favorite topic, and it was food, right? And I don't want to drag out this video for too long, and maybe we'll end it with this. And food for me is essential. I love to eat, and when it came down to food in New York, I love pizza, so I guess lucky enough that they still had dollar slices. I think nowadays they don't have that anymore, or very few shops do. And there was this local spot in the area that I was door knocking that, would hook it up. Sometimes they know that, I was struggling. I was out here, doing my thing, knocking doors for solar, and they could see it in my face, the defeat, that they would just hook me up with, an extra slice, or, just really be nice to me. And that's, again, where the hospitality thing came in, that, yeah, they were kind of rough around the edges and they'd cuss you out every now and then. But when they see you struggling, kind of see it in your face, a defeat, they want to make sure that they can extend themselves to help you. And, that made me miss home even more, is to be able to be like, man, where can you go where you're going to get that everywhere you go, no matter what state that you're in? And really, that's New Mexico. New Mexico, there are some places that are just dives, and they're just happy that you came in to support them. And some places just get forgotten about, that when you go into these small boutique shops or these small local restaurants, they're just so happy that you came in, because, they might have not had a customer in all day, and you're the only person that came to show them love. So that right there, just the wholesomeness of everybody here in our culture in New Mexico, that little piece that I got out there in New York in the food scene made me miss it so much. But backtracking into the food, New York didn't have green chili. They had salsa and all this other stuff, but no green chili. So when I asked for green chili, they kind of looked at me weird. And everything was so overpriced, in my opinion. I think we went to a restaurant in Times Square where the whole restaurant was themed the Brooklyn Dodgers. And it was a beautiful restaurant. I mean, it was amazing, something to experience. But when the bill came, I'm super glad the boss got it and he hooked us all up. And it was just something that I looked at the bill and I was like, holy crap. Definitely could not afford that. Take me to a Bob's or to a Sadie's, or even down to the Julian's, and I'll hook you guys up with taco burgers. Yeah, I mean, they didn't have any of that. Everything was like pretty much like normal food choices, like pizza, burgers, chopped cheese, stuff like that, right? And here we got, a conglomerate and a whole melting pot of all these different cultures, East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, North, even down to the south of the border. We got all that here. I really miss that. The spices, the flavors, not one for all the foo-foo food. So when people tell me, oh yes, it's sauteed in wine, I really don't care. I'm like, is it hot? Is it spicy? Does it have some flavor? Am I gonna feel like, man, I need to drink a whole lot of water once I'm done with this? Now we're talking, right? But other than that, guys, the food was awesome and it was great, but nothing like New Mexico's food. And we can argue that, right? Put it in the comments. What's better, New York style food or New Mexican food? I don't know. I don't even think New York has a style of food besides their pizza. New Mexicans got a whole menu. I don't have to go into too much detail of New York and all that stuff. We know what they're about. I'm not trying to help you guys to relocate to New York. I just want to make sure that I'm being transparent with you guys and giving you my honest story, something that you guys can relate to as far as like, man, I would love to live in a place like that, right? Because New Mexico is very unique and there are very few places like it. Our state alone has close to 1 million people. Long Island has 2 million people, and the little corner of Long Island is way smaller than our state. We're the fourth largest state in the United States, and we got a little bit over 1 million people. So, and that's spread out, right? So you're gonna feel like, man, everything is really spread out, but here in Albuquerque, everything is so close still, for the fact that we're kind of condensed as far as like our city goes. So really, to get anywhere, it's going to be like 20 minutes. You don't have to get on the George Washington Bridge and sit on it for 2 to 3 hours just because you're trying to get to Jersey. Like here, if you're trying to get to Los Lunas or Rio Rancho, it's going to take you 45 minutes if you are pretty much in the middle of the city. And really, anywhere that you're trying to get, it's going to take you about 20 to 30 minutes. Like if you're trying to go to the Costco from the west side, to the west side Costco, it's going to take you 20 minutes. Or if you're trying to get to the east side Costco down on Renaissance, it's going to take you about 15 because it's all freeway. But enough of me going over on how great we are, right? We talked about affordability. We talked about, lifestyle, the culture, and pretty much gave you guys the whole story of me moving to New York and moving back to make sure that, hey, Eli is a normal person, just like the rest of us, trying to figure it all out. And back in 2014, that's exactly what I did. I went out there with aspirations to chase a dream, to better myself. And honestly, guys, without that trip, I probably would not be here doing these videos for you guys. So I'm very thankful that I took that opportunity and took that chance on myself to be able to better myself for today. But enough of me blabbering off, guys. Again, that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. And as much as I love doing this, I would love to help you out with your relocation down to New Mexico. So feel free to shoot me a call, shoot me a text. I am the one that answers all of that. And I'd love to equip you with so much information and give you so much more stories to make it a lot more easier for you guys to make that move. But enough of me blabbering off. You guys have a good weekend. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.